Securing your work. A password is text that must be entered before a user can access a workbook, worksheet, or worksheet elements. You can secure an entire workbook by restricting who can open and/or use the workbook data and by requiring a password to view and/or save changes to the workbook. You can also provide additional protection for certain worksheets or workbook elements with or without applying a password. Protecting a worksheet. In a work environment, workbooks are frequently used by more than one employee. When you create a worksheet that is accessed by multiple users, you often need to protect it so that a user does not accidentally or intentionally change, move, or delete important data. In the next exercise, you use the ran and ran between functions to create unique ID numbers. Excel has two random number functions, ran and ran between. Ran does not require function arguments. You cannot specify the number of digits you want in the number returned by a ran formula. In contrast, ran between allows you to determine the beginning and ending numbers. So we're going to be working in the ID worksheet, and we're going to select cell F4. Click on the Formulas tab and choose Math and Trig. Then select Ran Between. This formula creates a random number for each employee that can be used for identification purposes. In the Functions Argument dialog box, in the bottom box, type 10,000. And in the top box, type 999,000. Click OK. As one of your first steps in the information security, employees are usually assigned an employee ID number that can replace Social Security numbers for U.S. employees, Social Insurance numbers for Canadian employees, and National Insurance numbers for UK employees on all documents. Double-click the fill handle in cell F4 to copy the range from F5 to F33. Each employee is now assigned a random 5-digit ID number. With the range F4 through F3 already selected, click the Home tab, and then click Copy. Click the Paste drop-down arrow and then click Paste Values. With F4 through F33 selected, on the Home tab, click Format. Click the Protection tab and verify that Locked is checked. This prevents employee ID numbers from being changed when the worksheet has been protected. Click OK. With F4 through F3 selected, on the Home tab, click the Sort and Filter button. And then select Sort Smallest to Largest. In the Sort Warning dialog box, select Continue with the current selection and then click Sort. Select cells C4 through D33. In the Home tab, click Format, and notice that the Lock Cell command appears selected, meaning that the cells are locked by default. Click Lock Cell to turn off the protection on these cells to allow these cells to change when you protect the worksheet. Click the Review tab, and in the Protect group, click Protect Sheet. In the Password to Unprotect Sheet box, type L 11, exclamation point, E01. The password is not displayed in the password to unprotect sheet box. Instead, solid circles are displayed. Click OK. You are asked to confirm the password. You have just created and confirmed the password that will lock the worksheet. Passwords are meant to be secure. This means that all passwords are case sensitive. Thus, you must have exactly what has been assigned as the password, uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. Protecting a workbook. Assigning a password is an effective way to prevent any user who does not know the password from opening a workbook. To protect an entire workbook, you can require a password to open and view the workbook. You can also require one password to open and view the workbook and a second password to modify workbook data. Passwords that apply to an entire workbook provide optimal security for your data. Currently, the 11 Payroll Data Solution workbook you saved in the previous exercise can be viewed by anyone who has access to the computer system. You restricted the modification of the file, but you did not restrict access to the data. In this exercise, you will limit access to the workbook by requiring a password to open the document. Excel passwords can contain up to 255 letters, numbers, spaces, and symbols. Passwords are case sensitive, so you must type uppercase and lowercase letters correctly. If possible, select a strong password that you can remember so that you do not have to write it down. A strong password is one that combines uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. Consider the example password of L11 exclamation point E01 that you typed in the previous exercise. A password that uses 14 or more characters, however, is considered to be more secure. Passwords that use birthdays, house numbers, pet names, and so on provide little protection for anyone who can look up this information on social networks or the internet. When you protect a worksheet, you can hide any formulas that you do not want to be visible in the formula bar. Select the cells that contain the formula you want to hide. Then on the Protection tab of the Formula Cells dialog box, select the Hidden checkbox. So we're going to click cell F11 and try to type a new value in the cell. A dialog box informs you that you are unable to modify the cell because the worksheet is protected. Click OK to continue. Click cell D4 and change the number to 1. You can make changes to cells in columns C and D because you unlocked the cells before you protected the worksheet. Click Undo to reverse the change. Click the Performance Worksheets tab and then select cell D4. On the Home tab in the Cells group, click the Delete drop-down arrow and then click Delete Sheet Rows. The data is removed from the worksheet because this worksheet was left unprotected. Click Undo to return the data. Click the ID Worksheet tab. Click the Review tab, and in the Protect group, click Unprotect Sheet. Type the password, and click OK. Click cell D11. Type 8, press Tab 2 times, then type 17,000. Then press Tab. On the Review tab, in the Protect group, click Protect Sheet. In the two dialog boxes, type the original password for the sheet to again protect the ID worksheet. On the Review tab in the Protect group, click Protect Workbook. The Protect Structure in Windows dialog box opens. Select the Protect Workbook for Structure checkbox in the dialog box if it isn't already selected. In the password box, type L11 and E02. And click OK. Confirm the password by typing it again, then click OK. To verify that you cannot change worksheet options, right-click the Performance Worksheet tab and notice the dimmed commands. Press Escape and then click the File tab. Select Save As and then click the Browse button. In the Save As dialog box, click the Tools button. And the General Options dialog box opens. In the General Options dialog box, in the Password to Open box, type L11 and E02. Solid circles appear in the text box as you type. Click OK. In the Confirm Password dialog box, re-enter the password and then click OK. You must type the password exactly the same each time. Click Save and then click Yes to replace the document. As the document is now saved, anyone who has a password can open the workbook and modify data contained in the performance worksheet because that worksheet is not protected. However, to modify the ID worksheet, the user must also know the password you used to protect that worksheet in the first exercise. Marking a document as final. Before you share a workbook with others, you can use the Mark as Final command to make the document read-only and discourage changes to the document. Marking a document as final communicates that you are sharing a completed version of the document, and it helps prevent reviewers or readers from making advertent changes to the document. So we're going to click on the File tab. In the Backstage view, click the Protect Workbook button. And then we're going to click Mark as Final. An Excel message box opens indicating that the workbook will be marked as final and saved. Click OK. Another Excel message box explains that the document has been marked as final. This also means that the file has become read-only, meaning you can't edit it unless you click the Edit Anyway button. Click OK. Notice the Marked as Final information bar above the worksheet with the Edit Anyway button. A Mark as Final icon also appears in the status bar.